Yo, what is up, guys? So I'm here to give you my thoughts after playing Brigette for a while. And man, dude, the McCree getting knocked back, saving the Reinhardt over here, holding down one button, giving him a stun, and just killing him. And then we're walking away with full HP. Pretty good stuff indeed. But we're gonna go on a flank mission, get rid of another support here, and then I just wanted to showcase off like what you can do with this hero. Like, I've been playing this hero like not really like an actual support, and you guys can see basically the Hanzo ult's gonna finish it off. But I wanted to mention real quick, you can still animation cancel with her. This footage was actually taken today. A lot of YouTube videos are going up right now saying that she's nerfed, that you cannot animation cancel with her anymore. And the answer is actually no, you're wrong. You could still animation cancel with her. You guys can see I'm not even completing my swing, and I'm still getting the damage in and then instantly shielding. It's not as easy as before, so it is technically nerfed, but you can still do it. You just gotta get good. But anyways, like I said, a lot of you guys wanted my thoughts on this hero, and the footage that you guys are seeing right now, it's a solo heal gameplay. We've actually got a Sombra as kind of a support, but it's basically solo heals over here. And I would not consider her an optimal solo healer. I feel like Mercy is probably just better in that role, specifically because, well, she can actually heal herself, which is kind of a problem that Brigette can have if the enemy team is poking. So, to answer guys' question in a very short form, is she good? The answer is yes, but only, I think, at a higher level of gameplay. And the reason why I say this is because you have to play very aggressive. If you want to get heals from her, you have to be in the front line. So if you're playing like a Widowmaker and you're sitting super far back and you're asking for healing, yes, you can throw an armor pack, which will be very good if, let's say, your Widowmaker on the team is getting flanked by a Genji, and you're just like, alright, here's an armor pack. You should pretty much be able to deal with that Genji with that armor pack by just autoing. Unless, of course, Genji just absolutely melted you before I can throw you the armor pack. But the thing is that I think you need more coordination with her to tell your team, hey, you need to play aggressive right here, or hey, you know what, Sombra or Genji or Tracer, I'm throwing an armor pack on you, go ahead and go in. Which is a little bit different than Zarya. So, Zarya gives your teammate a barrier for 2 seconds. Sometimes the problem with giving your teammate the barrier too early, you're like, okay, I'm going to barrier, go in. By the time the character actually goes in, it's too late. The barrier is either A, already gone, or B, the player has already broken line of sight, so you can't give them the barrier because they're just too deep in. You don't have line of sight on them. With the armor that Brigette gives your teammate, it actually gives you it through the wall too. As long as you have line of sight, when you activate the armor, it's gonna work. So basically, you can just throw that on them, and it'll actually last 5 seconds. So that's really good. It's over double the duration of like a Zarya barrier. So that's actually really strong. And in addition to that, being able to play aggressive feels nice on a support. Like, I'm actually willing to play support. Usually when it comes down to like feeling support, I'm usually like, oh man, I want to play support. Like, I feel you guys when you're like, dude, let's just rock 3 DPS, let's go. I'm down for that. But you guys can see I'm able to keep the Sombra alive there simply by just pushing Roadhog. And I think I was playing a little bit passive. I could have played way more aggressive here. And another thing I wanted to mention is she's so good at dealing with people that dive you. Like, I'm very confident against going in a 1v1 versus a Winston versus a D.Va, because when D.Va dives you as Brigette, all you need to do is once she throws out her micro missiles, you just stun her, and then you could just pretty much auto her to death, and that makes her very strong. Giving her armor against D.Va is so strong because, you know, D.Va is a shotgun-based hero, does small integers, unless, of course, they're getting headshots. But every time I'm autoing, I'm actually gaining health, and on top of that, I'm healing everyone around me. So I feel like she's really good if your team is very coordinated with diving in, or perhaps being very aggressive to follow up with your plays. The way that she sucks is if your team is too scared to go in. And I feel like at lower ranks of the game, people are very scared to go in. You guys can see them completely missed the flashbang, but he tried to hit the ground with it. But generally what will happen in the game is that when you're shielding versus McCree, he's just going to angle his flashbang upwards and therefore going over the shield. But what you can do is just jump in the air, which I just did right there. And I don't know why he went for the feet there. But generally he'll aim upwards and you could just jump in the air and shield. But you guys can see I'm still able to animation cancel, even though this footage was taken before. The gameplay that you guys saw in the training ground, that's the new patch that went out today. She's still very good. She technically also took a nerf with the whole like dashing like upwards, but that was something that I knew it was going to get changed. It's basically the same thing with like Mario's Fave, where you can like kind of bounce off of objects that were sloped. But anyways, I feel like she is good. Once again, to answer you guys' questions, if she's like viable and competitive, I feel like it requires a little bit more coordination to be like, hey, you know, I'm giving you armor, go in. So I feel like specifically at ranks like Plat and under, she's going to be a lot more difficult to play because your teammates will be too scared to go in. And if you go in as a support, they'll be like, what are you doing, support? Why are you in the front line? But you need to be aggressive with her. Otherwise, you can't heal. Like, that's the kind of the problem with her, but that's just the way that she's designed. So you have to actually play aggressive with the support, and that's a little bit different. I feel like a lot of people that normally play support, they have the mindset, especially at a lower rank, that they need to, you know, sit further back, and that's good because that's generally what supports do in a game, is they sit, you know, behind the tanks, and they want to actually be out of combat. With her, you gotta be up in combat to be viable. And that's why I really like this character. And on top of that, animation canceling feels really good. It's a little bit more difficult to do now. I'll definitely agree with anyone that says that she did take a nerf, but it's still viable. Like, it's not like you can't do that with her anymore. And you guys can see, once again, just being really aggressive is definitely the way to play with her. And I'm definitely down to one trick her, and I'm going to see how far I can go. See if we can make it to Grandmasters with her. I think I can get Masters with her, like with pretty much ease. The only problem is, again, at lower ranks of the game, your teammates are going to be very scared, and that's just something natural. But I feel really confident again with her against like a lot of dive, especially since you can provide your teammates with the shield and also again cancel Diva's micro missiles. It's actually pretty big. So overall, I think she's pretty good. But again, she just has some problems if the enemy team is sitting far back and your team is too scared to go in. She loses the poke damage basically because you're not going to be able to provide your team with the healing or be able to actually sustain through that. I think you're just going to end up losing, and your team's going to be like, well, I didn't get any heals, and you're going to be like, whoa, you should have played more aggressive, stick with me. Because it's more so that your team kind of needs to play around, you know, what you're doing as far as like playing aggressive and that kind of stuff. I still think that she's definitely viable in the game, but at lower ranks, it might be a little bit difficult to play her. So those are my thoughts on if she's good or not. Definitely think she's good, but it's just going to require, again, more coordination than other heroes. But anyways, that's my thoughts on her, guys. You guys can let me know yours down below. Hopefully you enjoyed the vid. If you did, drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button for more Overwatch and other gaming videos.